Coach, first of all, can you talk just a little bit about the start of the Big Ten season, starting the grind?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's excited. You go through your non-league part of the schedule, and other than trying to win games and get better, your main focus is trying to prepare yourself for Big Ten play. And certainly I feel we've done that. Our guys are confident. Obviously the winning helps, and just excited. The guys know we have a lot of veteran guys, a few freshmen that'll be new for, but a lot of the veterans know it's ramped up when you get into the Big Ten games. It's another level of intensity. It's another level of focus you have to have, preparation, and I think we're all excited to get started.
You mentioned the winning helping. Obviously, this team, it's a record start. I mean, they've never had something quite like this. How is the team reacting to that? How is the team handling winning like that?
Well, we're trying to stay grounded. Obviously, we know we have a lot left to accomplish if we want to do some of the things that we set out to do to start the year. The thing that I've loved about our guys is they've really stayed in the moment. They've stayed within each game, and that's been our mantra the whole year. Like, let's take each game as it comes in front of us. Let's put all of our preparation, all of our focus into that game, and when it's over, we'll flush it and go on to the next one. So I've been really proud. I think we've gotten a lot more confident. Anytime, and we've had to win some close games, especially on the road. Had to go down to Virginia Tech, win one in overtime, at DePaul in overtime. So I've been proud of how the guys have kind of responded when we've been in tight games.
You make a good point. Last year we talked about a team having to learn how to win, and do you get the sense that this team may have kind of gotten that down at this point?
Well, I think when you win games in that fashion, I think you're still always learning what it takes. Down the stretch, the shots you got to make, the execution, the defense, the little things, the loose balls, and I think we're getting there. We're still a relatively young team, but certainly I can look at maybe 3 or 4 of these games in the non-league that last year we kind of invented ways to lose those games, and this year we figured out how to win. So hopefully that'll be a good sign for us as we head into the conference.
Last year in conference play, the team was especially good on the road. Does that help? Now you're going into Nebraska to start the Big Ten season. Does the fact that they've won on the road in the Big Ten before most of these guys, does that kind of help the mindset?
I hope it helps. I mean, our group has been pretty good like that. They don't really ever seem to be phased. Now you might get outplayed by another team who's really good, but I don't think it's because of being on the road or the crowd or anything like that. So I think they're looking forward to it. They know Nebraska's got one of the best home courts in our conference, so we know it's going to be a great atmosphere, and that's what you would want in the Big Ten opener. And I think the fact that we have played in a lot of great venues and a lot of the returning guys have a sense for what that's going to be like, I think that will help us.
In terms of your sense of the team, is there a little bit maybe of fool's gold about the start, because the competition you play night after night isn't going to be close to once you get to Big Ten play, night after night, everybody's great?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to ramp up. There's no question. The level of teams you play on a nightly basis, and I don't know if it's fool's gold. I mean, we came into the season wanting to have an opportunity to win games in the non-league. We felt like that was going to help prepare us the best for the Big Ten and give us the confidence that we need, and hopefully that turns out to be true. It's like I told the guys though, we that first 13 games now you can erase it. It's in the bank. It's what's done is done. Now all 14 teams are 0-0, and you take what you've learned, good and bad, and you start fresh and hopefully take each game as it comes and do our best to be successful in the Big Ten.
What was your impression of how the team played without Alex for that first game?
It was an adjustment. I think the combination of that versus coming off the break, we were all away from each other for 3 days, and you come back and you get the news that, your big guy's going to be out. So I think that first half we were all a little bit shell-shocked. Especially starting the game, we really usually try to establish Alex to start a game. And not having him there, we got off to a really tough start. I think it was 11-0 or 9-0, and I think it took us 20 minutes to kind of realize, he's not going to be out there. We got to figure this thing out. And to their credit, I thought both Joey Van Zegeren and Derek Pardon did a really good job filling in for him, and we're going to need that going forward.
Coach, it's no secret that you guys haven't made the tournament before. Is that something that you talk to your team about? Do you feel like this could be the year that happens?
Well, we talked about it at the beginning of the year, and really since then we haven't talked about it at all. And I think what you talk about at the beginning of the year is, look, we all have those aspirations. We want to get there. Every team in America does. And in order to do that, we talked about having to play well in November and December and putting yourself in a position to be relevant when the conference began. And our guys have done that. And we've all agreed, like, hey, we'll get what we deserve at the end. If we spend all our time right now talking about the term, we still have 20 games to play. And we've done a good job. We've won games. We've taken care of business. And now we start fresh in the league. And if we want to be relevant at the end of the year when that talk really heats up, then you got to approach these early games with amazing focus and determination to try to find a way to win.
You've played some teams with a good basketball pedigree so far, but Big Ten, as you mentioned, is just a different animal. What do you see as your greatest strength going in, or even your greatest weakness, or something that you might be concerned about as you start up play?
Well, I think our strength, we've been a pretty efficient offensive team. We have firepower. Our guards have played very well, McIntosh and Demps, and then you mix in a lot of guys that can shoot the ball. So when those guys are making plays and the defense is collapsing and we're kicking the guys and making shots, I mean, that's kind of when we're at our best. I think we're continuing to get better defensively. Right now, our offense has been a little bit ahead of our defense, and as well as on the boards too. And that's going to be coming into Big Ten play when the level of athlete and size ramps up. You got to box out even more. You got to be even more physical on the glass. And I think those are two areas of weakness that we have to continue to improve as we head into the Big Ten.
You have a lot of young guys on this team playing very big roles. Is it exciting knowing that this is just the start of what could be a dynamite?
Yeah, I hope so. That was the plan, from day one. I mean, I've said all along when I first got here is, no one's as impatient as I am in terms of wanting to win right away. But in order to do it the right way with the right guys and have it be something that can be long-term, you have to know that it's gonna be a process. And I've been really happy with how our young guys, I think we have a lot of young players in the program. There's more on the way. And these experiences and continuing, like our goal is to continue to climb the ladder. And we've done that in the first 2 years, and hopefully we can continue to do that this year. And I think the future is very bright as well.
How impressed are you with the way that Bryant has kind of become a leader on the team as a sophomore?
Well, I mean, he's just a year older. He was really good for us last year, but especially in the Big Ten, he didn't know what it was all about, and I thought, the grind of he was really good for almost the whole year, and then at the end he got a little bit tired. But you just see now he's a veteran. He's really strong with the ball. He's got great command of our team. He's quicker. He's more athletic. And he's just better in every facet. He's a worker. So, I mean, he really approached the offseason. You see his body. He's gained about 10 pounds from last year of muscle. And his game is just better in every facet. And it's nice to know he's just starting his sophomore year. You feel like he's older than that watching him play. And he's still a very young player. So there's no question we put a lot on his shoulders. He welcomes it, and we go as he goes.
Coach, your dad is famous around here. We see him sometimes on camera at the games. Do you talk to him at all about that, about strategy and things like that? A
little bit. I think the thing that he's done a great job is, he's been a coach, so he kind of understands, when to pick and choose the things he gives me to think about. I think the biggest help he's been more than anything is just the overall mindset, not so much specific X's and O's, but more so like where's your team at right now? What's the state of your team? He was a part of 3 different situations in the NBA that, he basically had to start them from the ground level up and build a foundation and get some young players and teach them a culture. And so really those are the things that I've really leaned on him for, and that's where he's been the biggest help. And he's my biggest cheerleader, our program's biggest cheerleader. So he's always been great like that as a dad. Even when I played, like he let my coaches coach me, and he was my dad. And he does the same thing for me now as I'm a coach.
Appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. Happy holidays.